The stars didn't look right. Master Chief sat in the command module of the UNSC Infinity, his armor's HUD scanning the endless void. Something had pulled the ship from known space, an anomaly in the slip-space jump, a tear in the fabric of reality itself. Cortana's voice echoed in his helmet, calm but tinged with curiosity. "Chief, the coordinates aren't just unusual, they're impossible. Sensors are detecting a galaxy outside of anything we know. It's different." He tightened his grip on the console. "How different?" "Entirely, sir," she replied. "It's Star Wars." Master Chief didn't flinch. He had faced the Covenant, the Flood, even rogue AI bent on galactic annihilation. But this was unfamiliar. The star patterns, the planetary systems, they didn't match anything in the UNSC archives. And worse, a massive gravitational disturbance was tugging at the Infinity's hull, forcing course corrections in real time. The bridge crew worked with precision, their fingers dancing across panels as the Infinity adjusted orientation. The hum of the engines and the distant thrum of the ship's Mac guns filled the chamber. Outside the reinforced viewport, a massive battle loomed, not for them, yet. "Chief," Cortana said, voice sharp now, "you're going to want to see this." The viewport expanded, revealing a fleet of ships unlike anything Master Chief had encountered. Towering, angular, gray vessels, the Imperial Star Destroyers, cut through the stars with surgical precision. Swarms of smaller fighters zipped around them, streaking like angry hornets. "Unknown hostile," Cortana murmured. "Weapons configurations don't match Covenant or UNSC signatures. Highly advanced, lethal. And there, a capital ship. Larger than a city." Master Chief's mind raced, his Spartan training kicking in. Analysis, prioritization, threat assessment. He wasn't here to negotiate. He was here to survive. And if necessary, to fight. The Infinity's AI-assisted targeting systems pinged repeatedly. "They're scanning us," Cortana said. "Not hostile, yet. But the energy signatures, shields, weaponry, are off the charts. Chief, I recommend tactical discretion." He didn't answer immediately. Instead, he studied the scene, his armor reflecting the cold light of distant suns. Every instinct screamed danger. This was no ordinary battle. This was a galaxy locked in perpetual war, and now the UNSC had stumbled directly into it. A faint vibration ran through the ship. The Infinity's hull thrummed like a living thing. Cortana's voice softened, almost a whisper. "They're aware of us, sir. And I don't think they like visitors." Master Chief's gaze hardened. He wasn't a diplomat. He wasn't here to study the stars. He was here to survive, and to complete the mission, whatever that meant in this alien war. "Prepare all defensive systems," he said, voice calm, resolute. "Spartans, suit up. I want a perimeter established, boarding parties ready. If they come at us, we'll be ready." Outside, the Star Destroyer's massive guns began to hum. Not in warning. Not yet. But soon. Master Chief's grip on his rifle tightened. Across the stars, a new war was awakening. And the UNSC was right in the middle of it. The stars erupted. On the bridge of the Infinity, red warning lights pulsed as massive energy bolts streaked across space. The Imperial Star Destroyers had acknowledged their presence, and they weren't waiting for diplomacy. "Enemy fire," Cortana's voice cut through the tension. "Plasma cannons, concentrated volleys. Hull integrity at 20% in localized zones." Master Chief stood tall, visor reflecting the chaos outside. He had faced Covenant plasma weapons before, and while the Star Destroyer's energy beams were different, the principle remained: anticipate, maneuver, and strike. "Evasive maneuvers," he ordered, his voice calm but commanding. "Shields to maximum, Mac cannons online. Fire at will." The Infinity's thrusters roared. The ship twisted through the void with impossible agility, dodging sweeping blasts that could have shattered smaller vessels. Spartan teams scrambled, manning railguns and deploying defensive countermeasures. Cortana coordinated targeting, predicting the Star Destroyers' firing arcs with superhuman precision. "Chief," she said, "they're faster than expected. Multiple TIE fighters breaking off from the main fleet, likely boarding attempts. I recommend intercepting them before they reach the hull." He didn't hesitate. "Spartan teams Alpha and Bravo, prepare to deploy. Boarding defense mode. Engage at my mark." Outside, clusters of TIE fighters sliced through the void, black and menacing. Infinity's point defense turrets unleashed torrents of plasma rounds, but the fighters were relentless, swerving with precision beyond anything he had ever faced. Master Chief moved with inhuman speed, donning his helmet and securing his Mjolnir armor systems. The Spartans were ready, their own energy shields glowing faintly in the viewport light. They were more than soldiers, they were the apex of human warfare. And they were about to meet a new kind of enemy. "Boarding pods detected," Cortana warned. "Multiple vectors, all heading for the hull." Master Chief's voice was calm, even as the first pod slammed against the Infinity's reinforced hull. "Spartans, intercept. Stop them before they breach. No compromises." Alpha team launched from the ship's hangar in Mjolnir dropships, plasma rifles blazing. They carved through the first wave of Imperial troops with surgical precision. Each Spartan moved like a ghost, appearing where needed, disappearing before the enemy could react. Inside the Infinity, the security doors locked automatically, sealing off affected areas. Spartan Bravo cleared corridors, neutralizing stormtroopers with unerring efficiency. For every soldier that fell, a TIE fighter screamed past outside, firing blindly, their pilots unaware they faced forces far superior in reflex and coordination. "Chief, the Star Destroyer is repositioning," Cortana noted. "They're attempting to flank us, using gravity wells from nearby planets." Master Chief analyzed quickly. "We draw them in. Lure them toward the asteroid belt. Use their size against them. Set traps." The Infinity weaved through the debris-strewn field, Mach cannons targeting the lead Star Destroyer. A single shot struck true, tearing a massive gash through the vessel's hull. Explosions rippled along its surface, sending smaller craft tumbling into the void. But victory was fleeting. A massive shuttle detached from the Star Destroyer, its size dwarfing the Infinity's hangar bays. Reinforcements were coming, reinforcements unlike anything Master Chief had faced. "Cortana," he said, voice steady, "prepare boarding and countermeasures. We're about to escalate." As the shuttle advanced, a sense of inevitability settled over him. This wasn't just a skirmish, it was the beginning of something larger. Something that could reshape the balance of power in this galaxy. Outside the viewport, the stars burned with energy and fire, reflecting the chaos of war. Master Chief tightened his grip on his rifle. The UNSC may have crossed into a galaxy unknown, but one thing was certain, they were not going down without a fight. The air was thick with smoke and the acrid tang of burnt metal. Master Chief stepped from the Infinity's dropship onto the surface of Lothal, a world scarred by endless conflict. The ground trembled under the weight of Imperial AT-AT walkers patrolling the horizon, their heavy feet sending vibrations through the soil. Smoke spiraled from burning outposts where TIE fighters had strafed rebel encampments, leaving destruction in their wake. "Chief," Cortana's voice echoed in his helmet, "we've been scanned. Multiple hostile units nearby. Stormtrooper patrols, AT-ST walkers, and unidentified energy readings." He scanned the horizon. The energy signatures were faint, almost imperceptible, but undeniable. Some kind of Force users, perhaps. Jedi or Sith, he couldn't tell yet. But instinct told him, these were threats unlike the Covenant, unlike any human enemy he had faced. "Spartans, move out," he commanded. Form a perimeter, recon the area. No unnecessary risks, but keep alert for unconventional threats. The Spartans moved with military precision, their armor gleaming under the alien sun. They crossed charred plains, ducking under bursts of blaster fire as stormtroopers emerged from the smoke, their white armor reflecting the light of distant flames. Master Chief raised his rifle. Mjolnir-enhanced reflexes allowed him to anticipate incoming fire. Plasma bolts bounced harmlessly off his shield as he returned fire, each shot precise, each movement calculated. "Chief," Cortana warned, energy readings increasing. "They're moving. Something approaching fast." Before he could respond, the ground vibrated beneath him. From the nearby forest, figures emerged, cloaked, moving with uncanny grace. Lightsabers ignited with a hiss, casting a haunting glow over the battlefield. Master Chief's HUD tracked them instantly. He adjusted tactics, signaling Spartans to spread out and engage while keeping a safe distance. Blaster fire and plasma rifles clashed against the elegant swings of the sabers, sparks dancing in the air. The Spartans' shields absorbed most of the energy, but these weren't ordinary enemies, these were warriors guided by something beyond conventional physics. He fired a magnetically accelerated round, forcing one of the cloaked figures back. Yet the energy field around them flickered, absorbing the shot. A voice, calm yet commanding, echoed in his mind, or perhaps it was the Force. "Who are you? Why are you here?" Master Chief did not answer. Words were useless. He relied on action, precision, and survival. The cloaked figure advanced, and the Spartans responded with coordinated suppressive fire, keeping it at bay. Cortana analyzed the battle. "Chief, their combat efficiency is off the charts. They anticipate movements, read patterns almost as if they can predict our strategies." He frowned behind his visor. "They're using something beyond technology, instinct or training. Either way, we adapt. We win." The Infinity hovered above, providing orbital support. Mach cannons fired intermittently, striking at ST walkers and clearing stormtrooper squads. Spartans moved like phantoms across the battlefield, eliminating threats with tactical precision. Yet the cloaked figures, Force users, remained elusive, their presence a puzzle he couldn't fully solve. Suddenly, a massive explosion rocked the battlefield. One of the AT-AT walkers toppled, crushed under its own momentum after a well-aimed Mach strike from orbit. The Imperial forces faltered, retreating toward fortified positions. Master Chief surveyed the battlefield. The Spartans were holding, but the Force users remained an unknown variable. One of them, cloaked in dark robes, stood at a distance, watching, studying. His presence radiated power, and Master Chief sensed that the war they had stumbled into was far bigger than a simple skirmish. "Cortana," he said, voice low and measured, "we secure the perimeter. Recon deeper. And find out exactly what these energy readings are. We need intelligence before the next move." The planet's wind carried smoke and dust across the battlefield, mingling with the hum of lightsabers and the distant roar of armored walkers. Master Chief's visor reflected the chaos, yet his resolve never wavered. No matter the galaxy, no matter the enemy, survival, and victory, remained the mission. Night had fallen on Lot Hal, and the battlefield lay quiet, only the distant hum of hovering Imperial patrols broke the silence. Master Chief stood atop a ridge overlooking the planet's scarred plains, his visor reflecting the faint glow of firelit craters and distant stars. "Chief," Cortana said, her voice softer now, almost cautious, "there's a ship approaching. Scans indicate it's not Imperial, but organized. Advanced technology, stealth capabilities, multiple crew members. They're coming toward us." He narrowed his gaze. "Rebels?" he asked. "Unknown, sir. But they aren't hostile, at least not yet." The ship landed silently in a nearby clearing, its sleek design unlike anything in UNSC archives. A hatch opened, revealing 3 figures, humans, but dressed in unfamiliar combat gear. One of them stepped forward, holding his hands up in a gesture of peace. "I am Canon Jarrus," he said, voice steady. "We mean you no harm. But this galaxy, it is dangerous. And your presence, it complicates everything." Master Chief remained still, reading the situation. Spartans flanked him, rifles raised, ready to react. Cortana scanned the newcomers, analyzing biosigns, weapons, and potential threat levels. "They're no threat," she said. "But they may know more than we do. Recommend caution, Chief." He nodded. "Go on." Cannon's eyes flickered, measuring him, calculating the threat. "The Empire controls much of this sector. Star Destroyers patrol these skies. They kill anyone who stands against them. Your ship, the one in orbit, they've already noticed it. You've brought a storm here." Master Chief processed this. "We did not choose to arrive. But survival and mission objectives remain our priority. You'll find no shortage of enemies here," Cannon said. "But perhaps, allies. The rebellion fights for freedom. We can provide intelligence, cover, and assistance. But there are costs." Cortana interjected. "Chief, sensors are picking up high-energy readings. Force users, definitely the cloaked figures you encountered earlier. They may be Sith. Or Jedi. Either way, highly dangerous." Master Chief's jaw tightened. Force or no force, threats were neutralized by strategy and firepower. He had no illusions about diplomacy, yet he understood the necessity. "We form an alliance, for now," he said. "You provide intelligence. We provide firepower. And we survive." Cannon nodded. "Then we have a plan. But shadows move faster than we anticipate. One of our operatives spotted a Sith Lord near the Imperial base. He senses your presence. You may be walking into a trap." Master Chief adjusted his rifle, scanning the terrain. "Let him come. We'll adapt. We always do." Cortana's voice held an undercurrent of unease. "Chief, the balance of power here is different. You may have fought impossible odds before, but the Force is unlike anything in UNSC records. It's not predictable. It's alive." He studied the dark horizon. The glowing hum of a distant lightsaber pulsed faintly, almost calling to him. Master Chief had faced aliens, AI, even cosmic-level threats, but this galaxy played by rules he had never known. Rules that could kill in ways bullets could not. "Prepare the Spartans," he said finally. "We move at dawn. Gather intelligence, secure high ground, and neutralize Imperial forces before they become aware of our alliance. And Cortana, track these force readings. We need a full tactical picture before engaging." The rebel operatives nodded, understanding the gravity of his words. Even in this galaxy of mystics and warriors, Master Chief's presence demanded respect, silent, unwavering, and absolute. As night deepened, shadows moved across the ridges, carried by wind and unseen currents. Master Chief's visor reflected them all, stormtroopers, walkers, and the glowing pulse of the cloaked figures still observing from afar. A war was coming. One that would challenge everything he knew about strategy, power, and survival. And the UNSC had no choice but to stand at the center of it. Dawn broke over Lothal, but there was no light of peace, only the orange glow of fire, smoke, and incoming bombardment. The Infinity hovered in orbit, a silver behemoth against the darkening sky, Mac cannons primed and point defense turrets scanning for Imperial fighters. Below, the Spartan teams moved in perfect formation, backed by the Rebel Alliance infantry. At STS advanced, blaster fire cutting through the haze, while distant Star Destroyers loomed above, their engines thrumming like war drums. "Chief," Cortana said, "we've got multiple assault vectors. Imperial reinforcements are converging from 3 directions. Their fleet is coordinating, TIE squadrons, artillery, and ground divisions. Master Chief's visor tracked the movement with surgical precision. Alpha and Bravo, split into 2 units. Engage the northern and southern flanks. Spartan Charlie, you're with me, we take the central position and secure the city's communications hub. Cortana, coordinate orbital strikes and suppress enemy walkers. The battle began in a flash. TIE fighters screamed across the sky, swerving around Mac fire, unleashing volleys that tore through rebel positions. Spartans moved like shadows, dodging blaster fire and returning precision rounds. Master Chief led the charge, cutting down stormtroopers with calculated efficiency. A massive AT-AT approached the central plaza, its armored legs hammering into the ground. Spartans launched grenades and plasma charges, striking its joints. The beast faltered, then toppled under concentrated fire from the infinity above. From the tree-line, cloaked figures emerged, their lightsabers igniting in brilliant arcs of energy. The Spartans halted for just a fraction of a second, enough for the Force users to deflect blaster rounds, sending sparks flying in every direction. Master Chief adapted instantly. He deployed spike grenades and EMP charges, forcing the cloaked figures back while Spartans advanced. The Force users countered, pushing Spartans aside with waves of energy. It was unlike anything Master Chief had experienced. Every movement had to anticipate not just bullets, but unseen currents of power. Cortana, he said, track the energy signatures. We need a pattern, find a weak point. Analyzing, she replied. Their focus is on tactical positions. Disruption could cause imbalance. Chief, that might create an opening. He nodded. Then we exploit it. The Spartans surged forward, coordinated as one. Charlie team breached the Imperial communications hub while Alpha and Bravo pinned down reinforcements. Orbital Mac strikes ripped through Imperial artillery, giving rebel forces room to advance. Suddenly, a massive explosion rocked the battlefield. The cloaked figure, now clearly a Sith, had arrived. His presence radiated malevolence, every step sending shivers through the ground. Lightning crackled from his hands, striking Spartans and rebel soldiers alike. Master Chief didn't flinch. He advanced, shielding teammates with reinforced energy barriers and returning fire with precise volleys. Each Spartan knew their role, moving like extensions of his will. The Sith unleashed a torrent of lightning, forcing Master Chief to adapt his strategy. He used terrain, debris, and cover, striking with Mjolnir-enhanced reflexes. The battle became a deadly dance, blaster bolts, plasma rifles, lightsabers, and energy shields colliding in a storm of chaos. Rebel forces moved in tandem with Spartans, taking advantage of every Imperial weakness. Star Destroyers above launched orbital bombardments, but the Infinity's countermeasures neutralized most attacks. The ground erupted in controlled chaos as Spartans led a surgical strike, capturing key positions and crippling Imperial communications. At the center of the battlefield, Master Chief faced the Sith directly. The Force user advanced, powerful and relentless, but Master Chief's armor, shields, and tactical mind allowed him to evade fatal strikes. He targeted weak points, disabling support droids and Imperial reinforcements, forcing the Sith to overextend. Cortana's voice cut in, urgent but measured, "Chief, now. Strike the perimeter, it's vulnerable." He fired. Mac rounds, Spartan grenades, coordinated rebel assaults, all converged on the Imperial stronghold. The ground shook, armor clashed, and the Sith's focus wavered. For the first time, the balance shifted. By the end of the day, the battlefield was littered with debris and fallen soldiers. Imperial forces had retreated, leaving the Spartans and rebels in control. The Sith had survived, retreating into shadows, but the immediate threat was neutralized. Master Chief surveyed the aftermath. The Spartans were intact, the rebels grateful, and the Infinity still in orbit, ready to respond to the next wave. Cortana spoke softly in his helmet. "Chief, we've won the battle, but not the war. That Force user, he's not done. And this galaxy has more secrets than we can imagine." Master Chief's visor reflected the smoke and fire of victory. "Then we prepare. Always. This is far from over." The stars above Lothal burned with the promise of more war, and the UNSC, alongside newfound allies, would face it head-on. The battlefield was silent now, but the silence was heavier than any storm of fire or plasma bolts. Master Chief stood at the edge of the central plaza on Lothal, surveying the aftermath. Rebel fighters patched wounds and repaired vehicles, Spartans checked ammo, shields, and systems. Yet beneath the surface, a new unease simmered. Cortana's voice, usually calm and precise, trembled slightly. "Chief, sensors are picking up something. Not a ship, not conventional weapons, energy. Extremely high levels. It's him. The Sith. He's converging on your location." Master Chief's visor tracked multiple signatures, a surge of power radiating across the terrain, twisting the very air. He had faced impossible odds before, flood infestations, Covenant fleets, rogue AIs. But this was something entirely different. The Force bent reality around him. Reflexes, shields, and bullets were no longer absolute. "Chief," Cortana warned, "he's using the Force to manipulate the battlefield. Terrain, gravity, even your own troops' movements. His presence is destabilizing your forces." He tightened his grip on his rifle. "Then we adapt. We fight." But as he advanced, the Sith's power became undeniable. Lightning crackled from the figure's hands, striking Spartans and rebel soldiers alike. One by one, his allies faltered, thrown back by invisible currents of energy. Even with shields and armor, the sheer force of the attacks was staggering. Master Chief realized something that had never occurred before: raw firepower alone could not win this battle. "Not here, not against this enemy. Cortana," he said, voice steady but reflective, "we need a new approach. We can't just fight him head-on. Analyze patterns. Weak points. Anything." Her voice grew tense. "Chief, his power isn't just physical. He's attacking morale, strategy, even perception. He's forcing decisions, testing you. I'm detecting hesitation, internal conflict." Master Chief paused, visor scanning the chaos. The Sith's presence wasn't just a threat, it was a psychological battlefield, a challenge to his instincts, his experience, even his moral code. Spartans followed his lead, waiting for orders, but hesitation flickered across their HUDs. He clenched his fists inside the armor. For the first time, he felt the weight of responsibility crush against him, not just for survival, but for the lives of those around him. Rebels, Spartans, innocents, they all depended on him. And yet, every move he considered was being anticipated, manipulated. Then it hit him. He had a choice. Engage and risk annihilation of his team, or retreat and save lives, but abandon ground gained in allies he had just fought to protect. Cortana's voice was almost pleading. "Chief, this is the first time I've seen you hesitate. But it's a valid assessment. If you engage without adaptation, you could lose everyone. Your strategy alone isn't enough." Master Chief scanned the terrain, calculating odds in microseconds. His mind raced through every possible scenario, every tactic. Then he acted, not as a soldier reacting to orders, but as a Spartan making a decision that would define the outcome. He ordered a strategic withdrawal to higher ground. Spartans covered the retreat with suppressive fire, while rebel operatives evacuated civilians from the zone. The Sith, sensing the change, unleashed a wave of energy that decimated terrain but left the retreating forces intact. From the ridge, Master Chief surveyed the battlefield. The Sith had not been defeated, far from it. Yet by making the hard choice, he had preserved life, maintained morale, and retained the possibility of fighting again. Cortana's voice was calm, though tinged with respect. "Chief, that was the right call. It may feel like retreat, but sometimes survival is the greatest victory. You've earned a chance to fight another day." Master Chief lowered his rifle, visor reflecting both smoke and distant stars. He had faced impossible odds, but this galaxy had taught him a new lesson: not all battles could be won with firepower. Some required restraint, foresight, and the courage to face uncertainty. The Infinity hovered above, its hull battered but intact. Spartan teams regrouped, ready for the next engagement. And across the horizon, the dark figure of the Sith lingered, waiting, watching, a storm yet to break. Master Chief's grip tightened. The war in this galaxy was only beginning. And when it came again, he would be ready. The battlefield of Lothal was quiet now, but silence never meant peace. Smoke curled into the sky, mixing with the faint glow of distant suns. Spartan teams moved with precision, tending to the wounded, repairing equipment, and securing perimeters. The rebel forces were grateful, but wary. This was a galaxy of secrets, and they had learned to trust cautiously. Master Chief stood at the edge of the central ridge, visor reflecting the ruins of what had been a city under siege. Behind him, the Infinity hovered like a silver sentinel, its hull scarred but intact. Mac cannons were on standby, and shields thrummed quietly, a promise of both power and protection. Cortana's voice broke the silence. "Chief, the Sith didn't retreat. He's still out there, and I'm detecting additional energy fluctuations, another Force user, perhaps allied with him. And the Imperial fleet, they're regrouping. They know more now, and they'll strike again." Master Chief's jaw tightened behind his visor. "Then we prepare. Gather intelligence, reinforce positions, and anticipate every move. The next engagement will define control of this sector." He paused, surveying the horizon. The rebels had their strategies, the Spartans had theirs, and the Infinity had firepower beyond imagining. But the galaxy itself, its people, its force-sensitive warriors, its endless complexity, was an unpredictable variable. A challenge unlike any he had faced. "Cortana," he said, voice low and resolute, "begin analysis of the next sector. Map every potential threat, every tactical advantage. I want contingency plans for every possibility. And track the Sith, learn his patterns, anticipate his moves. We strike only when success is guaranteed." Cortana's tone softened, almost reflective. "Chief, you've faced impossible odds before. But this galaxy, it's different. It will challenge you in ways you've never imagined. Not just physically, but morally, strategically, even mentally." He tightened his grip on his rifle. "Then we adapt. We survive. And we win." Above them, the stars of the Star Wars galaxy glimmered coldly. Somewhere out there, cloaked figures watched, waited, and plotted. Imperial Star Destroyers regrouped, their engines pulsing with renewed purpose. And the Infinity, a lone human sentinel in a galaxy of alien power, stood ready to meet whatever came next. For Master Chief, the mission had changed. It was no longer about simply surviving, or even fighting. It was about understanding this galaxy, respecting its dangers, and preparing for wars that could span stars. The sun rose higher, casting long shadows across the ruined plains. Spartans adjusted armor, rebels took positions, and the Infinity remained vigilant. War was coming, but for the first time, Master Chief felt a new kind of resolve. The Star Wars galaxy was vast, mysterious, and unpredictable. But one truth remained universal: no matter the enemy, no matter the odds, humanity, and the UNSC, would fight, adapt, and endure. And somewhere in the shadows, the Sith watched. The next battle was inevitable. And when it came, Master Chief would be ready. When a mysterious rift in space pulls the UNSC Infinity and Master Chief into the Star Wars galaxy, they find themselves in a war unlike any they've ever faced. Imperial Star Destroyers patrol the skies, stormtroopers enforce control on the ground, and powerful Force users manipulate reality itself. With the Rebel Alliance as uneasy allies, Master Chief and his Spartan teams must adapt to a galaxy where tactics, technology, and the mystical powers of the Force collide. Battles rage across planets and in orbit, challenging their combat expertise, strategy, and even morality. From massive space engagements to perilous ground operations, Master Chief must confront enemies far beyond the Covenant or rogue AI he has faced before. Every decision carries weight, every move could mean survival, or annihilation. In a universe of shadows, deception, and unparalleled power, the UNSC stands as an unexpected force, and Master Chief may be the galaxy's only hope.